Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Morning. I am your host, Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson. I am an intuitive coach and an energy healer, a wife and a mom of 3 boys. And it is my mission to teach you how to, number one, calibrate your energy. Number two, how to integrate self care into easy and doable steps. And number three, how to embrace your own natural gifts to achieve a life you love. Because what the hell is the point of being here if we hate our lives? And listen, I'm here to tell you that life's not going to ever be easy, right? It's not just like everything goes smooth all the time. It's not built that way, right? Because we're built to expand, we're built to learn, we're built to evolve. And in order for expansion and learning and evolution, we have to be stretched beyond our comfort zone. We have to be stretched beyond our current capacity, and we need to increase that capacity and push past our current boundaries to go to new places, to discover new worlds and new experiences. You sometimes have to go through, some challenging times in order to get to the other side and realize, hey, I think I can do this. I think I can have a life that I feel really connected to, that I feel in total alignment with, and that is being sort of channeled through this beautiful vessel that I have on this planet, right? Because this is who we are here on this planet. We are using these vessels, we are using these voices, we are giving the messages that are important, right? And through our unique filter and our unique lens. And that's important, right? Our perspective and our lens and our viewpoint, that's important because I'm going to see things from one perspective, and then someone else is going to see things from another perspective. And if we remain open and compassionate and, give each other grace, we can eventually paint the picture for everyone, right? Like if I have this vision and then someone else has this vision and someone else has this vision, and you start to paint the picture and you start to really see things from all angles, and you really start to see how things fit and see how things come together. Okay. So, I'm really excited to be here. And today we are going to talk about something that is really important to me. I mean, all the topics are important to me. Calibrating your energy is important to me. But this was a thought that I had actually a couple of weeks ago. I got this. It was like a quote that showed up in my head. And so I wrote it down as such, but I said it. So it's like nobody's quote but mine. And what it was you, maybe I should like look up the exact quote, because now, of course, do you think I can remember what the quote is? Of course not, because I'm here. Um, oh, guys, I didn't even bring my notebook. But the quote, what it was is basically that you honor, I know what it is, you honor the importance of something by prioritizing it, right? And you acknowledge the existence of something by including it, right? Just simply including it in your life. And we're going to talk about that because so often, people have these dreams or these ideas or these visions of where they want their life to go. I mean, I'm not going to go, you may have a vision, right? I have a vision of where I want things to go. But if you are not doing anything that moves that vision forward, right? If you want to be an artist, or if you have this secret passion that, of something that you want to do that is still within the realm of possibilities for you. And, I say that because sometimes my husband and I joke and, and we talk about like sports, like if you could go back, what would you do? And, there's some things that you may or may not be able to do now that may have been a dream you've had for a long, long time, right? So if you want to be a professional baseball player and you're in your 50s, I'm not going to say that you can't do it. However, I will say that you are facing a very unique bunch of challenges, and it will be especially challenging. But if that's where your heart is, I'm not going to tell you to stop. But when you are really thinking of things that are within the realm of simpler or easier possibilities, which you may not even see in that case, but let's just say within the through the lens of, I am able to do those things, right? Being having the ability to do whatever it is that you wish. It's really important that you're actually doing something for that, right? And right now I'm speaking in very general terms, but very specifically, and we'll talk about this more after we do our routine and our usual thing on the show. But when you think about it, right? If you want to be a writer, and this is what comes up presently for me because I am a writer and I do a lot of writing, and I have been, feels like a forever process of wanting to write a book for like, I don't know, 6 years, 5 years. It's been about 5 or 6 years that I've been had this idea of a book in my head, and it's been in many different incarnations. And I even had my friend Misty was my accountability partner. Even we talked all the time about this possibility of what I was going to do, and it never really came together and it never happened. And so, you know, I'm using that as an example because can only use my own personal examples when we're talking about this, is that if there's something that you want to do, right? And so, for example, I want to write a book, but if I don't ever actually sit down to write this book, then it is impossible for it to happen, right? It just can't happen. Like if if I'm not writing it, then it is not being written. Therefore, it will not come to fruition, right? It's not like going to magically just appear in front of me and go poof, like look, your book magically appeared in front of you, and you're like, I didn't write a damn thing. Wow, this is amazing, right? And miracles happen. I'm not going to say that that's impossible because I don't believe that anything is impossible, but I will say that if you have something like you want to be a writer, you want to write a book, or you want to, be a singer, or you want to be an artist, whatever it is that little version of you, that youngest version of you has always wanted, something that you've always wanted to do, or even something that's a new passion that you're like, I really want to do this. You have to make time for it. If you don't make time for the things that you're passionate about, well, then guess what? You don't get to do the things that you're passionate about. It's that simple. But yet sometimes we forget that, right? And we're like, oh, later it's like, okay, once I'm done cleaning, okay, once I'm done this project, okay, once I hand in that, report, okay, once I do this. And we're always like, once I do, once I do, once I do. And we're always pushing back, to a later time, to a more convenient time. And what we're doing really is just delaying what we want, constantly delaying what we want. And sometimes life gives you these circumstances and you just don't have the ability to work on it in this moment, whatever it is that you're passionate about, whatever it is that you want to pursue. But you have to make time for it. Okay, you have to make time for it. If it's something that you desire to do, if it's something that you want in your life in any capacity, you have to make time for it. Because if you do not make time for it, then it doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. It can exist in here, but if you're not doing anything for it, then it's just in here. It's just like, it's like anything else that gets lost in the mind, right? Where we start to kind of get distracted and we have all sorts of thoughts. None of those thoughts, and that's a good thing, right? Like none of your thoughts come to fruition unless you continually think and you also take actions towards those thoughts, right? But if you don't do anything about it, it continues to be like a fleeting thought. So if your passion is a fleeting thought that just comes up periodically throughout your day, but you are not actually spending any time doing the things that you love, then you need to really stop and say, okay, is this really still important to me? Right? Because maybe it's not. Maybe there's dreams that you've had since you were little and, those things are not important to you anymore. It's like, you know what? I don't really want to be a singer anymore, or I really don't want to be an artist anymore, or really doesn't resonate with me. And it may not resonate with you in the moment. And then 5 years from now, you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I stopped doing that. And then you can begin. But the important thing is for you to come to terms with the reality of the situation, and for you to come to terms and really go within and figure out, what do I really want to do with this passion of mine? What do I really want to do with this dream, this vision, this idea? And if you want to pursue that dream or vision or that idea, then you have to actively do something for it as much as humanly possible. And I dare to say, every single day. Every single day, you should be making time for the things that you love every single day. And I can tell you, if you follow my ABCs, it kind of should fall into that, right? But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I just got carried away because I wanted to share it. I feel really passionate about this. I feel like it's a really, really important topic because sometimes we forget that we are constantly pushing off the things that we want to do in order to take care of our responsibilities and obligations. And then 20 years pass and we're like, why haven't I done anything with that vision or that dream? Or why am I still in this same spot? And it's because you've probably been doing the same thing over and over again and you haven't moved forward with that vision. And that's a really important thing to do if you want to move forward with that vision, right? If you want to move forward with your vision, you have to take steps to move forward with that vision. You have to include it. You have to make time for it. You have to prioritize it, even. Okay. All right. So let's do our morning warm up, sacred ritual. I change the name every second, whatever. See my coffee mug today? It's the I don't get paid for this. I'm just sharing. Sam James Coffee Bar in Toronto. I don't even know if it's still open because we got it before the pandemic. Um, but it's good coffee. Well, that's a good coffee mug. It is not their coffee because I have not been in Toronto in a while. So anyway, all right. So let's get things started. We're going to light our candle. And we're going to use our essential oils. I'm going to use mine. You're going to use yours if you have. Yeah. I need to bring out some more essential oils. I keep saying that every time I'm here, but time passes. I leave my office. I go work somewhere else, and then I don't come back here till the morning. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, my love. Okay, so essential oils in the hair. That's where I like to put them. We're going to grab our crystal spheres, where I'm going to grab the crystal spheres. You can grab your crystals as well. And we're going to take 3 very intentional deep breaths. And during these deep breaths, I want you to imagine that you are opening up the top of your head and allowing the powerful healing light, like liquid sunshine, just pouring into your head and your feet well planted on the ground. And I want you to imagine that your feet are soaking up the life force energy from the earth, the same life force energy that helps the flowers bud through, pop through the ground in spring. That life force energy, we're going to take it in. We're going to let it come in from the ground, from the earth and up. And then that beautiful, like heavenly healing light from the heavens. And we're going to let those two energy forces mesh and mix because they make up who we are. We are made of heaven and earth. We are made from the stars and from the dirt. We are made of bones and rock and stars. Okay, so both of those forces come together and they're just going to, using the powerful healing energy, it's just going to break apart, dissipate, and destroy any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy that you can find. And just set that intention that that's what it's going to do. And then as you exhale, you are going to release any of that energy that no longer serves you. And we're going to do that 3 times, okay? So deep breath in, hold for 5 seconds as you imagine everything just breaking apart, anything that doesn't belong, and then exhale to release it, okay? Here we go. And hold. And release. Yes. Okay. Another deep breath. Remember, we are allowing the liquid sunshine to pour into the top of our head, and we are pulling in, calling in the healing life force energy from the earth, and we are letting those energies and that beautiful healing light just go into our bodies, permeate every single cell, and like renew it and re-energize it. Okay. Deep breath in and hold. And release. Okay, one more time. Let's do that. One last time. Make it count. Increase that capacity to breathe in as much as you can breathe in, and then we'll release it all. Ready? And go. And hold. And release. All right. That felt good. Okay, go right into your stretching. Okay, and I like to stretch my neck. You can stretch your neck, your head, your back. Okay, we want to release the tension in our shoulders. So many people, everybody I know, holds tension right on the top of your shoulders and neck, right? We're all like sitting like this all day, especially between Zoom calls and everything being online these days. So, really kind of release any stagnant energy, release stiffness, release pain that you might be feeling, right? And you can even take deep breaths and focus them wherever you might be feeling discomfort or pain as you're stretching. And then release your breath to release that. Oh, I know it looks like I'm dancing. You make me feel like dancing, gonna dance the night away. Okay. Tangents brought to you by my ADHD brain. All right. Okay, so now we shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. All right, there we go. Oh, good morning, São. Good morning. Desde sempre. Essa energia precisamos muito nesta altura, é verdade. Eu preciso de energia também, por isso é que eu faço isto. Yeah, so São was just saying we all need a little, energy in the morning, and well, that's true. And that's why I do this, because I really believe that this is energizing. This is a way for us to set the tone for the day, for us to set our intentions, and for us to put our best foot forward before we walk into the world. Now, probably many of you have already walked into the world well before 10:17, at least Eastern Standard Time. I guess you West Coasters have an advantage, because if you're watching this early, you may actually just be starting your day. Not so much over here on the East Coast, or even in Europe. I have lots of European watchers, and it's like afternoon for them. But it doesn't matter. Whatever time that you can connect with yourself, and you can really just feel that alignment. Anytime is a good time. It can be morning, noon, or night. It doesn't matter, as long as it works for you, whatever you're doing. Okay, so let us set our intentions together, as we usually do each and every morning. And I know I'm a little behind than I normally am, but only because I was talking a lot this morning. All right, so we are going to set our intentions. So you think about what it is that you want to set as your intention for the day. Maybe think about your GPS word. If you don't know what I'm talking about with the GPS word, then please go right ahead and download your free GPS workbook. And it's like, several questions, several pages, and it will take you through each step by step, asking you the questions that you need in order for you to figure out what is your foundational word? What are the coordinates for your GPS? And it can be for the year, it could be for the day, it could be for whatever you want. But for today, we're just going to focus on that. Okay. Already did 30-minute yoga and 10-minute meditation. All right, Mom. Great job. Good for you. Yeah, well, it's exactly, because you're probably up early. Okay, so let's set our intentions together. So think about what you want to feel today, how you want to feel. Maybe think about how you want to feel, when you go to bed at night. What is the feeling that you want to be like? Today was a really great day and I felt blank, right? And what is that blank? What is it that you want to say at the end of the day? And let's just bring that intention for the end of the day and bring it right up to the front, and we'll set that as our intention for today. Okay. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. All right. Thank you for joining me for that. And now we're going to pull some cards. No, we're going to pull a card. We're going to pull today's card. And we're going to talk about a little bit more about what I was talking about earlier, which is, the priority, right? The priority in life. Now think about kids. Um, I'm a parent, so I use children as and motherhood as an example in my journey all the time because that is my reference point. You can have your own reference point and use your own examples for your life, but since I'm sharing and this is me first, I'm going to share my examples. And so my examples are my children, right? And so when we're talking about the quote that I said at the beginning that I came up with, right, which is that you honor the importance of things by prioritizing them. And the second part of that quote, of course, was we acknowledge the existence of things by including them, right? And this is for our dreams, but in general, right? In every part of our life, that's something that we can most definitely um, take stock of, right? Like, what are you prioritizing in your life? What are you doing first? What are you making the most important thing? And as I was saying, when you have kids, right, what do they want? What do kids want more than anything? They want time, they want attention, they want connection. Really what they want is connection. And that's what everybody wants. Like, that's not a surprise that kids want connection. We are just kind of society then convinces us that we don't need connection, however warped that may seem. I mean, maybe it doesn't seem warped to you. Maybe you're like, yeah, right. Like, why do we need people? We need each other. We need connection. That's why we're here. Otherwise, we would, exist in planets all by ourselves in little bubbles, and we wouldn't bother interacting or intermeshing, which many people are doing these days. So, if that works for you, that's totally fine. But our children, what they want from us is connection. They want this. They want like time, right? And so when you don't make time for your children, when you don't include them in your day, right, then they feel like they're not important, right? Now, it's not necessarily your fault, right? We all have responsibilities. We all have to work. We all have things we need to do, and I do it all the time. I feel terrible sometimes because I'm like, I got to do laundry. I got to, clean the table. I have to, and I'm doing like all these things. And the kids are like, Mom, sit with me. And sometimes it really takes practice for me to be like, you know what? I don't need to do that right now. Let me sit and enjoy my time with you. And it is a conscious choice. And it is an intentional choice when I stop and hang out with my children, because if I don't make that conscious and intentional choice to spend time with my children, especially because they're older. So my youngest is 9 and the others are 11 and 13 respectively, right? So it's not like hands-on where, when they were really little, where I was constantly feeding them or changing diapers, or, I needed to be right next to them all the time. Otherwise they were going to hurt themselves or, whatever. But I was much more actively present in supporting them in their day to day. And now they need me less in those examples because, they're older. They can dress themselves. They can go to the bathroom. They can, make food. My kids, can make their own meals even if they want to. They, play games with their friends. They go do their homework, and they don't necessarily need I was going to say they don't need prompting from me. Of course they need prompting from me, especially for homework and home tasks. But what I'm saying is that they don't necessarily need me at every minute right next to them, making sure that they're doing, whatever they need and that they're okay, right? And so when that happens, you have to actively spend more time with them, because all of that time you spent with them when they were younger because they needed you, then they don't need you as much anymore in the physical sense, right? They don't need you to do things for them anymore, but they still need you emotionally. They still need you mentally. They still need you spiritually, right? They still need your presence and they need your guidance. And more importantly, they want to feel connected to you, and they can't feel connected to you if you guys aren't spending time together. And so you have to make them a priority. Now, I say this, and with children, it's easy to say, like, of course my children are a priority. Of course I spend time with them. Of course we have family meals, and of course all this, right? But what about your like your dream child. That's that's the way I like to put it, right? Like your vision for the future, your passions, the things that you always hoped that you would do. If you don't make any time at all for the things that you desire, well, then how on earth can you find pleasure in your life? I mean, not that you can find pleasure. Of course, you can find pleasure in so many different things, but it's easy to become resentful. It's easy to become frustrated and anxious and overwhelmed because when you do not have an outlet for your passion, right? When you are literally spending no time with something that you love, then you begin to build a resentment, right? And you don't have anyone to resent necessarily because it's you that's making these choices, regardless of whether or not it's an easy choice, right? I mean, sometimes we have obligations, sometimes we have other things that we need to do. But if you really, truly want to incorporate something into your life, if you truly want to become a writer, if you truly want to become a singer, if you truly want to become a musician, if you truly want to become, I mean, I'm using those examples because those are all things that have been very present for me, but you fill in the blanks, right? If you really want to become an accountant, if you really want to become you know um a stock market broker, if you really want to become, if you really want to start your own business, right? If you really want to become a coach, if you really want to become a psychologist, if you truly want to go out and help and impact people, then you have to somehow impact people in the tiniest way possible, in whatever way you can, each and every day. Each and every day, you should be prioritizing the things that you love, and even if you can't prioritize it, and that's why there's the second part to that quote that I shared, right? You have to at least include it, because if you're not even including the thing that you love in your life at all, if you're not taking any time at all to spend with it, well, then it doesn't even exist, right? It's just a pipe dream. And we don't want to keep our visions for the future in pipe dream territory. We want to take it from this pedestal, from this dream world, right? And we want to pull it down into reality and be like, okay, I really want to become a writer or an author one day. And maybe you don't know what you want to write about. Maybe you have no idea, like, what the story is going to look like. Maybe you have a topic, maybe you have a title, maybe you have like these visions of what it could be. But until you put pen to paper or hands to keyboards, however you want to write it, right? More likely hands to keyboards, and actually start writing, it literally will never, ever get done, right? If you don't sit down and write it, it will never be written. If you don't sing it, it will never be sung. If you don't paint it, it will never be painted, right? So you have to incorporate the things that you want to do into your life. You have to incorporate it. If you want to start your own company, if you want to, have an animal shelter because your passion truly is rescuing animals, then you need to, in whatever way you can, each and every day, do something that connects you to that dream, whether it's volunteering at an animal shelter or if it's, doing some other type of work that connects you with animals, if it's being a person who takes in the animals and fosters. Thank you. In my head, I say thank you to the guides who give me the words that I'm looking for. If you want to become someone who has like a rescue house, then you have to, try to foster animals now, right? What I'm saying is that you have to figure out how you can incorporate your future visions into the now. I say this all the time. I will continue to say it each and every day because it's important and because we all need reminders, right? Whatever you want to be, what do you want to be? Boom, do it. Do it in whatever way you can, however you can. You want to, have a like a baking business, you want to be a caterer, start cooking, right? You want to do like have a gifts business where you like do like gift baskets and send them out, then do it. Anything that you want. You need to do it in whatever way you can now. Do it small, do it for your friends. Call people up and say, I'm going to do this free service for you because I just want to practice. I just want to do it. Whatever it is you want to do, you have to figure out a way to incorporate it into your life every single day. And if you follow my little daily ABCs suggestion, it can fall into whatever category you want, right? Depending on what it is that your dream is. You have the A, which is, do something that you're actively avoiding. That's your, A of the ABCs. B is do something for your body. And C is do something creative. And very often our passions fall into that creative part. So if what you do every day in the C section of your ABCs is a creative thing that gets you closer to your dream, well, then that's how you incorporate it into your day each and every day. Okay, pulling a card, and then we're wrapping up. This card keeps coming up. Number 45, Sad Embrace. It's so interesting. I'm actually going to look up the meaning in the book because here we go. Loss is a part of life. Let go and allow time to heal you. Okay, so this is what the book says. And I don't always read from the book. I usually just go on, but I'm going to read from the book today. You may be entering into a period where loss is a theme. This feels, right. Perhaps you're having to let go of a long cherished dream. So take heart, for this ending may have been for your highest good. A better and more powerful dream will be realized in your life if you can accept the loss. So this goes back to what we were talking about in that, when I'm talking about your vision for the future, now's the time to figure out whether this vision that maybe you've had all your life is still an appropriate vision. It's still a vision that is in alignment with who you've become at this stage in your life, because priorities change, we evolve, and the things that we have held on to since we were little, sometimes they just don't resonate anymore. But you're afraid to let that go because you're my God, I wanted to do it for 20 years. Am I really ready to let go of this dream? And only you know the answers to that. But let me tell you, if you have not made time for it and you feel the resistance in making time for it now, then maybe it's time to just set it aside and put it to rest until another time where you feel inspired. And then if it shows up for you again, then do it, right? It's like that saying, if you love something, set it free. And if it's meant for you, it'll come back. The same thing with our passions, right? You can let go of stuff that don't appeal to you anymore, that don't resonate with you anymore. And 5-10 years from now, it may come back for you again because it just may be that time in your life. All right, I'm going to continue. Relationships based on the faulty foundations are meant to end at this time. That's definitely very true. Disappointment is a form of perception. If your expectations weren't met, a sense of loss arises along with sadness and grief. Express these emotions. Tears are like healing rain that can restore life to a parched inner landscape. Growth is always assured. Whatever the loss, how great it is, let go and experience your feelings so that you may soon see what beauty lies ahead. That's a beautiful way to end this because I want you guys to remember that anything that is meant for you will never be kept from you. So don't be afraid to chase after your dreams and figure out a way to incorporate them right now. And if it feels like those dreams are gone or lost or just not for you anymore, then do whatever you need to do to grieve that loss and then move on. And know what I just said, that if it is meant for you, it will come back. You will feel that resurgence of interest, of motivation, of inspiration again. And when that shows up for you, let that be your sign that it's time to take action and include it and incorporate it into your life as much as possible. Because life's too short to not be doing what you love. All right, that's it for today. Have a wonderful day. I'm here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Don't miss tomorrow. It's Thursday. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, but I hope to see you there. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to Jumpstart for Change and ding that notification bell and smash that subscribe button and spread the word because, we should all be doing the things we love, and I'm here to help you do that. Love you all. Bye-bye.